Hello and good day. Welcome to the Super Good Camping Podcast. My name is Pamela.
I'm Tim.
And we are from supergoodcamping.com. We're here because we're on a mission to inspire other people to get outside and enjoy camping adventures such as we have as a family. Today's guests are the hosts of a live stream / podcast / TV show / radio show. And it's all about folks that are adventuring outdoors. Pretty incredible adventures at that. Please welcome C.W. Goetz and Maya Marzocchi from the Outdoors People Show. Yay!
Hi, can you hear my air conditioner? It's really loud in here.
Yeah.
And the three we've got running right now, too.
Yeah, so 44 degrees
Celsius
/ 112 degrees Fahrenheit.
It's insane.
Yes.
It's very hot when we're recording this, and sorry for the noise in the background, but we're going with it.
We're promoting noise on this episode. It's all about our comfort, right? Everybody's comfortable here.
And noisy.
If I drip on the microphone, that'll be a really loud noise. I tend to do that.
That'll be the zap that happens right there. Yeah.
All right, so I want to know how you met, and then I want to know what you guys do in the outdoor, like what your outdoor activities are. So, because I feel like they maybe kind of go together. I don't know.
Yeah, can we tell? I don't know.
You mean the one where you saw me on the wall of the post office as most wanted?
Yes,
I don't know if we should share that story, but
yeah. It doesn't sound good for us, right?
Well,
Next
you
question.
know what? Yeah.
I'm kidding.
You got your version, I got mine. It's all good, man. I'm in the witness protection program, so yeah.
Between the two shall never meet.
That's right.
So
I don't know. You probably remember the story better than I do, Maya. You go ahead.
Yeah. I found you on Amazon with free shipping, right?
Oh, yeah. That's and discounted, by the way. Yes, discounted.
Yeah, you were there on Amazon. Yeah. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
So
that means I didn't have a shirt on. I was 50% off.
Oh, boy.
Anyway.
So yeah, I would never buy it anyways.
Yeah, I wouldn't either.
Right? So
yeah,
yes, they began with CW because he always had his company, the CW Goetz Outdoors. So he found me on Instagram and he saw my pictures like rock climbing and hiking. So he sent me a t-shirt and I really thought that he was just a creepy or fakey page or something like that. And then the t-shirt came to my home like 3 months later. It was pretty slow, right? The Brazilian, it doesn't work here.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
Cheapest shipping ever.
Yeah. So 3 months later,
now we know
the
why.
t-shirt came, and I was like, "Oh, so he's real, and this company is real. He's a real person." And then I really started to see his Instagram, and then we started to chat, and then we became friends, and then he was interviewing me, and then we were traveling around the world, and then he got married with my friend. So that was the Reader's Digest version. I like that, man. That was quick and fast. I can throw in a few details if you want those. Please.
You want a couple of details?
Yeah.
All right. So in the meantime, I called her a couple. I go, hey man, did you get the t-shirt? Because I follow up, And she goes, no, I didn't get the t-shirt. Did you send it? Did you send it? Where did you send it to? And I'm like, this went on for like 3 or 4 times. I go, well, hell, it's never going to get there. I don't know what the program is here in Brazil with your delivery people, your postal service, but I couldn't, So anyway, and meanwhile, she's probably thinking, yeah, this guy's a, fakey. That's sending me no
crazy
t-shirt.
One
right?
or whatever.
Yeah. But once she got it, in fact, you know what? I sent a second one. I go, I'm going to send you one again, man, because the first one didn't get there. So I did that. And I think that's the one you got. In fact, the other one, the first one came back to me another 6 months later. It was really weird. So, yeah. Anyway, Brazil, get your program together down there with your deliveries. Okay. But anyway, in the meantime, we had been talking. Once she got her first shirt, she goes, okay, you're real. And I said, I got a show. You know, it'd be really cool. I would love to do a remote broadcast in Brazil. And she goes, well, you know what? It just so happens, and I mean, there may have been some weeks in between this, but she said, it just so happens that I have a women's climbing outing that we're going to be doing. And I said, yeah, great. That sounds perfect. I said, give me some details. When's it going to be? And she said, I'll get you the details soon. If so, maybe a week or two later. She did. And I said, okay, let's do it. And I didn't know this, but she didn't take that seriously.
Yeah.
Because
okay. I was like, okay, so he's coming to Brazil with his co-host to stay here like for 2 weeks to shoot a girls climbing in the middle of nowhere on Minas Gerais state in Brazil. Okay, sure, fine.
Well, and I called her back. I said, it's probably a week or so later, maybe a few days later. I said, hey, look, I said, here's our flight gets in at on whatever date it was, June, whatever it was. And I said, we're going to be there. It'll be 10:30 a.m. flight, and we'll need you to pick us up, or we'll need a car, one of the two. And she's like, wait, what? You know?
You guys are coming.
Yeah, that's what she said, just like that. And I said, yeah, you said you wanted to do it, right? Are you still? And she goes, yeah, but humming. I didn't think you were really good. So I had scheduled my substitute co-host from Canada. Her name was Janelle Morissette. Yeah, and she said, yeah, no problem. And we arrived, and we go ahead. When the rest you can tell what we did when we got there.
And Janelle had lots of problem buying the tickets because I think it was the fires and the smoke, so their airports are not working. Do you remember that?
Oh no, like, they were on strike. They were on strike at the airport, remember? And they were canceling flights. Yeah.
Okay. Yes. So yes, in the end of the day, it happened, and he came to Brazil, and we had a blast, the three of us. And we traveled to São Paulo City, to the beaches, and this really small town in the middle of nowhere to rock climb, right? And in the middle of the jungle.
With the welcome to the jungle, man.
Yeah. And yes, we had a blast. Like we became like brothers and sisters, like right away.
There's a thing on my show where the co-hosts get pregnant. Okay, I don't know what that is, but so my former two of my three former co-hosts were pregnant and had to leave the show. One was going to school, but the other two got pregnant and had to leave the show. So lo and behold, I called my friend from Brazil, and I said, "Hey, listen, I need a co-host. Would you be interested in doing that?" And again, humming. And she was kind of nervous.
I was like, yes, sure, but I just need to learn English, right? Because I do not speak English. So, yes, let me learn, and then I can be your co-host. Fine.
Yeah, give me a call in a year. Yeah. But it happened. And so pretty soon, and I tell you what, Pam, she, right off the bat, she was a little nervous, which was, was normal.
Oh, my gosh. In the first show, I was shaking. I was so nervous in the first show. I was like, oh my gosh, I am on live, speaking English. Like, that's too crazy, even for me. Rock climb is easier than that. But
she was a natural right off the bat. I go, this is going to work just fine, man. No. And the rest is history.
She absolutely is a natural.
Actually, I had a good teacher because you rocked on patience of teaching me how to do that, teaching me how to speak English. So you are a great teacher.
I just taught you the slang words, man. You're like, sister from another mister, and mother, brother from another mother, and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. No, but thank you. I appreciate that. Well, yeah, you got to teach your street smart stuff, But anyway, but it was kind of a natural thing, and we honestly clicked, I think, faster than anybody expected us to. And certainly surprised both of us. So it was cool. Yeah.
We'll be right back.
You're tuning into Remote Trails Radio. Garrick, you have 35 seconds to answer 4 questions. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
What are the collection of back roads in Washington that you can discover called?
The Washington Backcountry Discovery Route.
On the trail, what's a helpful hand gesture to give the driver you see going the opposite direction?
Oh, you got to give them the shakas.
A number of fingers for number of cars behind you. What are skinny tires called?
Oh, man, I got some of them. They're pizza cutters.
Which podcast is packed with overlanding advice, P&W gems, and outdoor stories?
That would be the Remote Trails Radio.
Very cool. When you guys are outside doing activities, and I know you share some, but maybe not everything. What do you Maya, tell us what you like to do. I know it's rock climbing. I'm just going to sit back here while you freak me out because I watch a lot of your content. Tell me what you like to do when you like. Is it just rock climbing? Do you like to do hiking? What other things do you like to do when you're outside?
Oh boy, I like being outside. So I don't know, I like doing everything and anything at the same time. I love hiking, of course, rock climbing. I love mountain biking. I love canoeing. So everything that I can do, I want to do. Like, I'm just waiting for the right time to start to like flying something. I don't know what exactly, but I love everything, and I love being outside, and I love being with my outdoors friends as well. So all sports. I just started trail running as well, like mountain trail run. So I love everything.
Cool. Sorry, you said canoeing?
Yes. Actually, here in Brazil, I used to do canoeing. Kayaking, because it is more common. So we do that when I'm not up in the mountain. And when I went to CW's home, nearby Chicago, we canoed a lot, right? Like
we canoed
3-4 times, I don't know.
Yeah.
Is there a big difference between canoeing in Brazil versus canoeing in North America? Because Chicago's not terribly different from where we're at.
Right.
Yeah. Usually in Brazil, I kayak in the ocean. So that part is different. And also, if we are in the river, we are always in the really in the middle of the jungle. So big trees, like really close by tree rivers. But pretty much the same. I don't know.
Okay, cool. CW, what's your fun in the outdoors?
Most of my outdoors experience is with hiking and canoeing, and of course kayaking as well. But although I will say that when I was younger, I used to skydive, and that was fun.
What's with you guys at heights?
But I used to drink a lot back then, and it was.
And it all good to jump out of a perfectly good plane while you're drunk. Yeah.
I did that. I did that
match,
once,
man.
and I almost got kicked out of the place. They go, "Don't ever do that here again." And so they, because I actually the problem with that was that I didn't remember them telling the direction of the wind, and because of that, you don't know. When you jump out of a plane, I mean, it's windy wherever and just freaking wind, right? So you don't know. And unless somebody tells you, and then you have, you can compass, you can, and instead of going into the wind, I went with it. And then I ended up about 50 feet from the hangar, which was not where we were supposed to land, and took out 3 rows of corn, and they were not happy with me. But that's a whole other story. That was a short stint, that skydiving thing. But most of it's been canoeing and kayaking and hiking, and of course camping. First thing I ever did was camping. I got a tent when I was in 1971. I was in first grade, I think, and set the tent up in the backyard, and you stay overnight, you sleep outside overnight, and that's cool, man. I mean, you're an outdoors man, but
so brave.
Yeah, right. And so, but then the canoe thing, and then I get into whitewater, and it just sort of I guess branched off into other things, other outdoors things. But that's my mainstay.
Cool.
Kind of boring, right?
Not at all.
No, I love doing all the things that don't involve the heights, but I love doing all the other stuff.
And nothing near as exciting as what Maya does, so that's kind of.
No,
although I tried it though. I tried it.
Yes,
I did it
that's
barefoot
true.
too.
Yeah, that's true. He rock climbed in Brazil, yeah. But
Yeah, barefoot.
Barefoot, yeah. But something, I'm kind of jealous because you guys are always like doing those long trips by like kayak, and then when you kayak and then sleep and then keep kayaking and go, like canoeing, in your case, canoeing. And I really want to do that one day because I just do that walking. So canoeing sounds so much fun. So I'm jealous.
It is a lot of fun. Yeah, it is a lot of fun. When you do it, you're going to love it. And Tim, Pamela, you guys do canoe trips for like a week, 10 days, 2 weeks, something like that, right?
That's so cool.
It is right up on the top of the list of like, adventure fun, isn't it? I mean, because you're stinky and you're sweaty and you're beat the hell up at the end of the day, but you know what? You cook some good vittles, good food, and you sit around a campfire and you go, something? I'm having fun. I'm having the time of my life.
Yeah.
And I don't even know how you can describe that any better than just that. And it doesn't even scratch the surface.
Yeah.
I think it's one of those things you have to experience it to understand it. Yeah.
Yes. That's
Am I right?
Yes, that's exactly
Absolutely.
the point. It is really hard to explain the feeling for someone who have never done, because the words are not enough to explain all those excitement, right? We feel when we're outdoors. And with good company as well, right? That's the main part.
It's great company, and part of the deal is it's excitement, but it's also the peace.
Yes.
It's the quiet. You're out of the city. You're away from all the people.
Yeah.
You're
you and nature.
Seeing nature. Exactly it.
Yeah.
Exactly it.
But I will add that the travel partners or the adventuring partners can make or break your trip. Am I right?
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah.
Hopefully you've not had the latter,
Yeah.
but I have, and I've been on some really crappy trips because of the people I was with. But
I think everyone.
Yes,
I think everyone had one to learn, right?
Yeah.
Everyone had that experience.
I'm sure they probably did. I can tell you this though, and this is, I don't know, maybe it was just my experience, but the guys were always the worst. If there were bad trips, it was the guys that were the problem. And I'll tell you what, I think it really revolves around it has to do with its egos.
You are not right. Sorry, you are not right. The man always, it is the problem. In camping, in the city, in the work.
Oh, not just camping; it's the whole program.
Across the board.
Well, and see, the thing is the men. I don't know how if they feel like they have got this reputation to uphold this. Yeah. I am outdoors man. I am the leader. It's like, I'm going to tell you something. I've had more men freak out in certain situations than women.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
But I think while women can be emotional in everyday life, I see that a lot. But under stressful situations, they seem to keep their head better than most men. I don't know what that is. Does that make any sense?
Yes.
Yep.
I guess we know better how to handle. And for my luck, my boyfriend, he has no ego, so he doesn't care. And he goes like, okay, it's too hard. You go. Go ahead. I'm here for you. Go, girl. Go, girl.
Yes. Yeah, and I'm kind of like the same way. I'm like, hey, man, show me how it's done. I don't care. I'll learn. I'm cool.
I will cheer you from down here. Yeah.
I got nothing to prove, man. So yeah. Tim, you do that too? Are you you let them go? Like that? You're like, hey, man, I'll cheer you from down here. You said
You know what? If it feels like I've got more experience and I need to lead, I'll do that. If it's a teaching moment, I'm happy to step back. If it's I'm not up to that deal, have at it.
You got any kind of fears, Tim? Like when you guys are tripping, you got any fears where you say, nope, you know what? This one, Pam is the leader. She's way better at this than I am. Or you got a fear of something. Everybody's got a fear, man. Tim, you got to have one, man.
See, he does tripping a lot more with our older son.
Okay.
But I don't know that there's a situation where he would defer to the younger or to the older son.
I would not defer to him if, like, he observes things in a different way. Our eldest has ADHD, so his worldview is
join the
different.
club. Hey, that's a popular thing, man. We all got that, right? Yeah.
Neurodivergence.
So if he spots something, like I won't ever shut him down unless we're in an emergency situation, which thankfully we've not ever really run into. You know what? Whoever's the best person for that moment, have at her. Like I don't care.
Well,
so long as we get through the trip and we have a good time, yay.
You'd be great to trip with then. Yeah, no egos, a lot of fun. But yeah, egos ruin a lot of things, and I think that's kind of a thing that I see a lot on social media is the male ego thing. It's like we're better. We have a reputation to uphold, and I think Maya made me aware of the severity of that in Brazil. Am I right, Maya?
Yes, here it is much harder than in North America because Brazil, it is a sexist country, like for sure, and we have many social problems because of that. So here I feel like we, like women, need to fight 3 times harder to achieve whatever we want to. And on the other hand, the men, they just get it because feels like it is then rights anyways, right? So feels like women have no rights in general, and so I'm used to fight in a good way, and I of course I faced that in the outdoors sports and extreme sports because people need to prove themselves, but for my good luck, I found really nice people, and in general, women goes rock climb better than men because of that a way of thinking and being calm and try to do with the mind, not with the arms, the strongness. So I feel like in rock climb, people started to see that, and we are being very respected in rock climb. But I feel like it's like a everyday fight here. It's not that easy,
But you're making progress, and I think that's cool, man. So kudos to you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, and,
I don't want
you're
to
stronger
fight.
than me because I've seen your arms. You're stronger than me. So,
I love it.
Yes.
So,
I need to be stronger, right? Here.
well, exactly, right? Aside from which I have zero interest. I'm happy to watch people do it. I'm not, no. Although I do have a hammer drill, so I could put some pitons in it for you.
There you go.
Cool.
There you go.
It can be useful for sure, yeah.
That's the scariest part. When the first person that goes up with the hammer drill isn't it, Maya? That's the time where you're
crazy, right? Like,
yeah.
It is the hardest thing, right?
This one's up here doing this with the hammer drill and going.
And waving at the camera, exactly, right? Like, no.
Does my hair look good? Yeah, I'm good, man. Yeah. I made that up. But yes.
No, I've seen the picture.
Right.
So tell us about the show. Like, tell us about, cool guests. How do you wrangle guests from all over the world to come on?
Oh my gosh, he's the best.
We threaten their families, and then things like that.
It's all about burn
your house down. No, it's our good friend Dennis Canoe Hound Rogers asked the same question. And basically, I mean, there's no magic to it. I'm going to move my phone here a little bit. There's no real big strategy to it. What I did was, and do, because we're going to do some more episodes. There's a lot of stuff on Facebook, and there's a lot of stuff on Instagram. There's a lot of stuff on what's the other one? Not X, but everybody's
TikTok.
on TikTok.
Blue Sky now, or TikTok and stuff. Yeah.
TikTok, yeah. And so I just said, you know what? There's enough people doing cool stuff. Let me just look through Instagram, and when you see what they're doing, you go, hey man, that's cool. That's unusual. That's really, or maybe it's just over the top. It's really that good. And I say, hey, listen, man, would you like to do a podcast? I don't say a podcast. I just say a show, because we're really a live stream show. And I said, would you like to do, a show, an outdoor show? It's called Outdoors People. And I may have gotten to know, I guess, maybe at some point. I don't remember when it was. I'm sure I got one, maybe two. I don't know. But most everybody's like, yeah, I mean, tell me a little bit about the show. And I kind of give a little brief thing. And most people are up for it. And, they're everybody from, I mean, the interesting thing is I didn't approach that like it was outdoor sports. And I didn't call it outdoor sports. I called it Outdoors People, because it's really about people. And then we get to their core, or what they're all about, through their outdoors activity. So you're a climber. That's like Maya. She was a climber. But we got to know Maya Marzocchi through her climbing. We didn't get to know her climbing through Maya Marzocchi. You know what I'm saying? We did it the other way around. So it was really about the person and not the sport. And that's kind of what I wanted, because life is about people, above and beyond anything else. It's about humans, working with humans and coexisting with humans. So it was really a show about humans, and it still is. But we've gotten to know some really amazing people. The show started out to be the camping show, which after a couple of years of that, I said, I think we've exhausted every aspect we possibly could without being redundant and repeating. So, but Outdoors People is 3, maybe 4 years, something like that, going on, 4 years for that show. And I don't think you ever run out of material, because it's about people. It's not about, you know what I mean? It's not about a sport or a hobby or whatever you want to call it. But we've met some great people, some really interesting people, fantastic people. And through that, we've grown to develop an appreciation for a lot of new sports, some of which I've never heard of until doing this show. So that's just for me. So Maya, how about you?
Yeah. Yes, I don't know. You said it all, because the outdoors activities, these sports in general, they are just a tool for us as people to express ourselves and be alive and feel alive, right? So people have different experiences, so that people start doing their own sports because of some specific reason, because of their own, like, when something happened in your life and then you want to change or improve, and then some kind of sport, and then you change your life, and then you can change people's life as well for a good thing. So
great point.
Yeah, so I do not rock climb just because I like rock climb, but because how I started, how it made me feel, and how I want to embrace people to do the same. And it happened with me, and I could see that in the show so many times, like the refugee girl who started to boxing and painting.
Oh yeah.
And
Yeah.
right, like tough story. She was able to change her whole life because of the sport. And I love hearing that. I love hearing people's stories and how people became who they are through the problems, and because of the sports they make it better, or they feel better, or they make people feel better. Like we can see changes in real life in the show, and of course know more about sports. Right? Like,
I think you probably, and I don't know if you said this. I apologize. I may have missed it, but you yourself, Maya, had a fear of heights.
yeah,
If I'm correct, and you, because of the climbing, you've learned how to address that and
yeah,
overcome that.
yeah, totally. I feel much more brave and secure in my life because of rock climbing, because I learn how to handle myself and handle my problems. Because I was afraid of heights. I didn't like to look up in the balcony in my build, and yeah.
I love that. That's cool, man. I'm like, yeah.
Now I just feel now I just feel alive if I am really really high. So think changes like pretty well. But I am someone who wants to face the fear. So I always do that. So for example, I was afraid of snake. So I went to a zoo and then I touched a snake. So okay, I'm not afraid anymore. And
Yeah.
then I did the same thing with rock climbing. And then the first time I rock climbed it, I was like, oh my gosh, like it is the best thing I have ever done in my life. And
Cool.
now I know why I'm alive. That's the reason.
Did you freeze?
Like,
Did you ever freeze up there when you're like your first time? Did you like
Yeah, like-
freak out or anything or no?
oh no,
Did you?
no, I was freaking out of excitement.
Oh,
I was
wow.
like, whoa, like that's beautiful. Like, oh my gosh, like I have no words. I was like freaking out because I was happy because I could do that, and because I was able to face my fears, and because I was able to see what regular people do not see, and what I never thought that I could see as well. So every time's like, wow, like it is so good to be alive.
I love it. You know what's
Well,
funny?
I'm glad you share that with those of us that can't do that stuff.
Tim and Pamela, you guys, you're great. I love it. You're great listeners, and you're so quiet. So because we're not giving you a chance to talk, but I need to, as an interviewer, I have to ask you, what do you either of you two have fears that you've learned to overcome because of outdoor adventuring? I put them on the spot. Look at that. I love it.
I've never really had fears of just about anything, like not heights, not close spaces, like none of the usual things. I don't.
Yeah, no.
Maya, you're looking at two people here that have had a very normal childhood. They didn't have any traumas like you and I had. I love it.
Right.
So stable, right?
I love it. Yeah, right. I love it.
Heights have always been a thing for me. I brief interlude here. I had a boss. I used to work in film. We had to do something in a studio. I had to go up a 55-foot wooden extension ladder.
Oh, wow.
So I got up to the top, and he was a bit of a dick, and he started shaking the ladder from the bottom. I froze. I was stuck 55 feet in the air, and I couldn't move.
Oh,
Is that man
didn't
still
help
alive?
My fear of heights.
Yeah.
Is that man still alive, Tim? Did you let him live? Is the man still alive after
He
that?
is. Well, considering I used to deal with explosives, he should be very thankful. He's still.
Oh my God! Yeah.
I was very unhappy with him.
I love it. What a story!
Goofy deal. Oh, something completely off topic. Wow, that just popped in my brain. So, if I'm not mistaken, you and I had a brief exchange at one point, a ways back. You used to make musical instruments. You made, if I'm not mistaken, you made a drum for Neil Peart.
I did. Yep.
Oh, you have to tell me that story.
So the rumor made it to you. That's interesting. That's good stuff. But no, I did actually make him a drum. You know what's really funny about that? It was the first. Let's see. Wait a minute. Okay, it was my second drum, I think. Maybe I made some other ones. I don't remember. I shouldn't even go there, but I would just say he was my first celebrity. And I was very new at drum building at that point. And the man that put on a clinic that I went to East Hampton, Massachusetts, one Cottage Street School of Fine Woodworking, and there was a drum builders clinic there, which I attended, and the man who put on the guy who put on the clinic was at the NAMM show later that maybe a couple of months after, actually few months. I think the clinic was in November, and he went there in January or February, whenever the NAMM show was, in Anaheim, California. And he called me up and he said, there's Larry Allen, who was the drum tech for Neil Peart, the late great Neil Peart, was looking for someone to build Neil a drum to replace the stave design Cocobolo drum, snare drum, that had been stolen. Now, they said it checked into the warehouse, but it didn't check out. Nobody seemed to know where it was at. So it was an inside job, okay, inside job. But anyway, he overheard this conversation, and he's like, man, I got more business than I know what to do with, because he was in the group of people that made drums for, like, I'm just trying to count so many people. I'm thinking of the Eagles, Don Henley, the Eagles, all kinds of, and not Cravata. Who's the other one? I'm trying to think. Geez, I can't even remember these people's names now, but really big names in the industry. And he didn't need an extra, order like that. He was like, whatever. He goes, hey, if you're interested, I'll set you up, because I know Larry Allen, blah, blah, blah. So through Glenn Paquette, by the way, was his name, Glenn set me up with Larry Allen, and I worked with him for about 3 months. We put together exactly the drum, or the drum exactly the way Neil had his configured. Same heads, same shell, same, I think maybe even the same type of finish on the wood, same wood exactly, which was Cocobolo, and same dimensions, everything. Same snare configuration on the bottom. I don't remember what it was at this point, but he picked my drum. We waited for like 6 weeks or something. And finally I got word that he picked my drum out of 36 major drum manufacturers, and major and custom drum makers. And I said, wow. And there was another one, I think that was Gene D'Amico's drum, and he made Neil a stave drum just exactly like he had before. And that's the reason he bought it, I was told, because it was exactly like the drum he had made before. And I think that Gene was the one that made him his original drum. But he liked my drum, the way it sounded and the way it played better. And I was very flattered by that. And because Neil Peart had been, an idol of mine for a very long time. So anyway, that's how that came to be. Thank you for asking. It's kind of fun sharing that story.
Cool. Yeah. Very cool. That had nothing to do with camping. I don't care. My show. I get to hear stuff like
my favorite one was like Jason Bonham, and meeting him, John Bonham's son, because he was drunker than hell when I talked to him. But we did an exchange at Dirty Nelly's in Palatine the next night, and he got a Brazilian rosewood from me, I believe it was. Yeah. So and the other one I forgot was the David Letterman show. Getting invited to and I went there. I met Anton and David Letterman. I met Natalie Cole. It was kind of cool. It was and hung out with Paul Schaefer and Will Lee and all those guys the whole day. That was probably the most memorable thing for me. That was a blast.
That is so funny, because you, before being in the outdoors stuff, you were really like rock star. That's so funny. That's so bizarre. I love that. Like feels like you live it like 3 lives in one.
Yeah, right. And that, and well, won't go there. But I don't have a Lamborghini in my driveway or anything like that, so definitely not a rock star. But I'm still waiting.
Me either. I might have a Matchbox version of one somewhere.
Yeah, right. I don't even have that. Tim. Yeah. But that's fun.
Cool. So give us a little bit of an idea of what your sort of mission is, what the philosophy behind the show is.
I think one of the biggest things that I had in my mind when we switched from the camping show to Outdoors People was more so to aside from the subject of equipment and camping methods and things like that, was really, and then this was part of the camping show as well, is to kind of bring the not just the community together, but people who wanted to learn camping and outdoors sports and activities, and thereby bringing people from around the world closer together through outdoor adventuring. I don't know if that makes any sense. And we really, I think we accomplished that. I mean, I don't think we did that single-handedly, because Dennis Rogers and yourselves are doing quite the same thing. Kevin Callan was really probably as much to a credit, and even Cliff Jacobson, as anybody else, because that's really, they encourage, what they do. They encourage what they teach, the camping, canoeing, and outdoor. And I really do think there's evidence of that when we go to shows like Canoecopia, and even the ones in Canada that you guys have up at, I'm trying to think of the name of it.
Toronto Outdoor Adventure Show. We've got a new one now that's
Hamilton Adventure Expo.
That's
Hamilton. There you go. That's the one. Yep. Because my cousin lives in Hamilton, and she was telling me about it. But yeah, and I mean, and Maya started an outdoors company. I think this is worth mentioning, in Brazil. Again, bringing people of the world together. And maybe if you don't mind, tell a little bit about that company, Maya, what you do, because I think it's a very cool thing.
Yeah, so I lived abroad, and when I went back, I realized how beautiful Brazil it is. And every time that I travel here, I feel like I want to travel more here, because of our reasons you can imagine, because of the landscape, the weather, the people, the food, because of everything. And when I started the show with CW, I saw that people don't know Brazil as they should, and people are not enjoying the outdoor sport here. So my main point, it is show Brazil through my eyes, and show the world how amazing this country it is. So I started the Brazilian Outdoor Adventure, and BOA, it is like good in Brazil, BOA, BOA. And yes, to help people who wants to come to Brazil and don't know how to start, and don't know what to do or where to start to look. So I provide the sports you can do, the hotels you can stay, or the equipment you can rent. So yes, I make the trip happen for outside people who wants to come to Brazil and know better how amazing we are.
That's Brazilian Outdoor Adventure, and that's the name. Yep, BOA. Yep.
BOA.
And she didn't tell you. I don't think she mentioned this, guys. But Maya, tell them where you spent a year abroad, as you say.
A year abroad? Oh, in Canada. Yes, I stayed in Vancouver. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, especially if you're a hiker, that's a pretty awesome place to be.
That's the main reason I went to go to Canada, because I was like, okay, I need to go somewhere where people hikes and work, because I need to work, right? So yeah. So
working's no fun, man. Yeah.
No, it is not. But I need to pay my bills, right?
Yeah,
there's that. Yeah,
hiking
there's
equipment, all that ultralight stuff is not cheap, man.
Yeah. They say food is expensive. It's a minor expense compared to all the outdoor equipment, how expensive that can be.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
And
Emma doesn't know how much I spend on camping.
We have
I think we're in the wrong business. We need to go into the camping, the hiking, all that, gear, man. We'd be millionaires.
Yes. Agreed.
Yeah, that's cool.
And
right,
food,
cool.
And food here in Brazil is cheap, so it is not a big deal. So let's spend all the equipment.
If you're buying the dehydrated stuff, it's actually pretty. I mean, it's great, but it's pricey, man.
Yeah.
Super pricey. Yeah.
That's it for us for today. Thank you so much to our guests, CW Goetz and Maya Marzocchi, for joining us today. Please do check them out on the Outdoors People Show, and they are on the podcast, or the TV show, the radio show, and the live stream. And check us out while you're there. We are on all of the social media and we're on YouTube. Please subscribe there. And you can email us anytime. We are at hi@supergoodcamping.com. That's hi@supergoodcamping.com. And we'll talk to you again soon. Bye.
Bye.